Has Andrew Tate been a net positive or a net negative for society?
Oh my God, we haven't even begun to see the negatives that society will experience as a direct result of Andrew Tate's influence on the world. In 20 years, we will probably start to see the results of all of the 14-year-olds who listened to him. Andrew Tate has been an enormous net negative on the world in so many ways. It's horrific to think about, seriously.
I'd say a net negative. I think that most of the advice that he gives is pretty stock copy paste advice, and I think that the entire way that he's outside of any criminal stuff, the entire way that he's built himself up has been basically through scamming and then partaking in what most people would agree is like the most immoral activity that you can.
Oh, absolutely, and he takes pride in it. You know, I could be rich tomorrow. I'm talking filthy rich tomorrow. I'm talking in the next 24 hours. I could be rich if I wanted. I mean, a millionaire, multimillionaire. All I'd have to do is announce that I'm a Christian and that Donald Trump was correct all along about everything. That's all I would need to do. That's it. The Templeton Foundation and Michael Flynn and, Trump himself, maybe. Everybody. The Reawaken America tour, Jim Brewer, they would all come out and parade me around on their shoulders and say, look at this. This guy used to be a liberal nutcase, and now he's this, a true believer, and he's with us and all that other I would just receive an obscene amount of money in donations, like Kyle Rittenhouse level type of attention and fame and love and admiration tomorrow. But I don't believe that. See, that's the difference between me and Andrew Tate. I have a moral compass that will simply not allow me to do something so depraved as to outright damage society to that degree. I can't force myself to do something like that. I just can't, no matter how rich it would make me. Here's another prime example. This one would be easy for me. I've been receiving sponsorship offers from various different companies offering me $1,500 every time for every single video that I release where I shout out their product in a video. $1,500. I release 8 videos on my main channel per month, plus a live stream, so 12 videos. $1,500 times 12. That's $18,000 per month. $18,000 per month. $216,000 a year that I could make off of these companies. You know what I'd have to do? Sell vitamins and supplements like Alex Jones. That's who's offering me that kind of money. Supplement companies. $216,000 a year. If only I shouted these companies out. If only I encouraged people to purchase their products. I could be rich tomorrow, in all seriousness. But my moral compass won't allow me to. That's the difference between me and Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate has no moral compass. He sees a power imbalance and he wants to take advantage of it. He likes the idea of abusing his authority and position to make himself rich. That's how he got rich, by scamming people out of every penny they own. I could do that too. I am capable, and I even have a route to do it. I mean, not everybody has a route to scam people out of millions of dollars. I do. I could not possibly live with myself if I did something like that. I couldn't.
I think that if you're going to find a role model for young boys or for young men to look up to, it should be a guy that, if he would have stuck with kickboxing or done some legitimate type of business, I think it'd be different. But the fact that, everything aside, everything they've been done is admitted to have been scam after scam after scam, I think is not a good role model for people to have.
So I believe is a net positive, and the reason for it is because when you look at the idea that he's basically relaying, I agree with Destiny. They're not like unique ideas. He's not someone who's invented these ideas, but what he's able to do is these important ideas he's been able to penetrate.
There's nothing important about any of these ideas. He's just a scumbag who takes advantage of people. That's it.
Mainstream media in a significant manner, and so due to that, he's impacted the lives of many young males. And for me, young males are the forgotten species of society. They're significantly going through significant pain and suffering, and they don't have nothing or no way, or no one even cares about them. And so for that reason, I believe he's a net positive. In terms of being a role model, look, this is the issue I have also, which the Muslim community always argue as well. They say he's not a role model. Look, whenever we talk about role models, we never say that somebody is a complete role model. Like, no one's this perfect human being that you're going to aspire to be like him in 100% of the way he is.
He's saying he's a flawed human being. No, he's a little more than a flawed human being. He takes advantage of people. He scams them out of every penny they own. I mean, there is no bottom to this guy. Seriously, there's no end to the depravity that he's willing to do. It's disgusting.
What you do is you aspire to be like that person in one aspect. So webcam business, the way they became famous, exploitation of men, in terms of when they became rich, they're not role models. But in terms of what they are real role models is aspiring men to be better, aspiring men to work hard, aspiring men to not give up, aspiring men to, basically not go into depression. 80% of men, I said this before, are committing 80% of rough sleepers who are homeless are all men. So all of these things are imperative.
Wait, did you say 80% of young men are committing?
Yeah, 80% of the people committing are young men.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Apologies.
Okay, that was going to be ridiculous.
Thanks for correcting me.
That'd be a lot of people.
Precision, that would precision's important. And so when you look at that, he is a massive role model in that aspect.
No, he isn't. He's not a massive role model at all. He scams people out of every penny they own, and his self-help is all meaningless garbage. And a lot of the self-help he offers is just attacking women. Like, I don't know what makes him think that young men who listen to Tate are better off than young men who don't? What gave him that idea? Does he have data to back that up? Of course not.
And on the opposite end, Destiny, is there something that he says that you agree with?
I generally like messaging that, like, you are the only person that can rely on yourself. I think that people need to be a lot more internally driven. I think that right now we have a really hard time in society with people facing and overcoming any type of adversity. It feels like we feel like in order to make a good life for somebody, you have to remove every single obstacle in front of them, when we should probably be preparing or teaching people how to deal with obstacles. And of all of Tate's messaging, I like that part the most.
Okay, I think I can agree with that from Destiny, but when has Tate ever espoused that idea? I don't remember that ever coming from him. Am I mistaken? Has he ever said that before?
The part I like the most is, which I've mentioned already, is that impact he has on young men, gives men hope.
It doesn't give men hope. It makes men hate women. I don't understand. He's not like some inspirational figure that like wants to build them up. He wants to tear down women. That's how he builds men up, by tearing women down. What?
In a society where, as I said, men are forgotten, men's pain is not considered. It's all about female pain and female suffering. You got a scenario where this guy actually gives men hope, gives men...
All right, look, I feel like it's important that I address what he just said and really draw this out, okay? Society commonly tries to address problems faced by certain communities, like women. Women are largely... they're mistreated in large part. The black community has problems dealing with the policing system in the United States. So there are a lot of people who want to address the problems for the black community on their behalf because police mistreat the black community a lot. Yes, there are a ton of groups out there and people and organizations that are trying to help the black community, give them a leg up, that are trying to help women, give them a leg up. And this guy is saying that everyone's ignoring white men. Well, guess why that is? Because white men don't have the same problems that minority groups have. Women and the black community are disproportionately discriminated against for this thing or that thing, just because of their gender or their race or whatever else. White men are not discriminated against on a systemic level like that. That's why there aren't organizations or people out there focusing on helping, white young men, because they don't have it any worse than anybody else. They have it slightly better than everybody else. Yeah, obviously no one's addressing the problems white men have, because everybody has those problems. It's just, God, it's embarrassing.